You must have created a lot of tables, but have you ever used change tracking table property in Snowflake? And if not, you will be surprised how powerful this feature is and how it enables a data engineer to solve a lot of development and debugging problems. When we use the word change tracking, we also feel that it is somehow related with time travel feature or a stream object feature used for change data capture in Snowflake. But that is not completely true. So, in this quick and short video, we will examine the behavior of change tracking table property in Snowflake. We will explore how to define it using DDL statement followed by alter statement. We will explore how to find this change tracking property for an existing table in Snowflake. Finally, we will explore its behavior and how it differs from stream object and time travel feature on a table. This is completely hands-on video. So if you want to try along, pause the video, log on to your Snowflake SnowSight web UI and start following me. Welcome back to my channel Data Engineering Simplified. The hands-on exercise covered in this video can be tried in your free trial account. Create an Enterprise Edition instance on AWS so you can access all the feature enabled without any issue. If you have any technical questions, need architectural advice, wants guidance on starting or migrating legacy to Snowflake kind of a data project, do not hesitate to reach out to me on my Instagram account. Many talented Snowflake developers are learning and growing quickly. If you would like to join this exciting journey, be part of my exclusive Facebook group. I am curious to have you on board. You can scan the QR code or find the link in the description section below to join this exclusive Facebook group. I am in my SnowSight web UI. This is my worksheet called SQL Construct. So my context is changed. Now I am going to create a table called employee 00, which has a couple of fields: employee ID, first name, last name, email, date of birth, and designation. And here I have a property called data retention time in days, which is primarily for your time travel feature, which can take 0 or 1 value for transient table. For a permanent table, it can take from 0 to 90 for your enterprise edition. And to enable the change tracking property, I am adding a keyword called change. Make sure it is underscore and not a hyphen. And let me create this table. So my employee 00 table is created successfully. Now, when I run describe table, let's see what result does it bring. The describe table primarily bring the column name. There is no property called change tracking property because change tracking property is not a column level property. It is primarily a table level property. If I run get DDL SQL command, let's see, does it bring this change tracking property or not? So if I look into the DDL statement, the DDL statement does not bring the table properties, and that is a limitation of get DDL. So now the question is, how can we understand if a table has the change tracking property enabled or not? So for that, let me run show tables command. So this is the result of my show table SQL statement. And if you look into the change tracking column, it says on. So if you create a table with change tracking value equals to true, this flag will show on. Now I can disable the change tracking by running an alter statement as shown on line number 27, where I say alter table name set change tracking equals to false. Let me run this. Executed successfully. Let me run the show command. Now if you see change tracking value is off. I can recreate the table without this. So my table is created without change tracking property flag equals to true. And let me again run this employee show table command. My change tracking is off. And now I can enable the change tracking by running an alter statement. So my change tracking is on. By adding this table level property called change tracking true or false, you can enable or disable the change tracking. In the next part of this video, we will try to insert dataset and see how it behaves. Before that, we would like to understand what we are going to track. Let's see how the change tracking property behave when set to true. So we are going to create a table called employee table, which has employee ID, first name, last name, email address, and designation. It has the data retention period equals to 1 day and time tracking flag equals to true. And if you see on the screen, there are three employees, John, David, and Emily. And we are going to insert this record, and followed by we are going to change the designation of John 3 times. So this is our timeline. First, we are going to change value SQL developer to data developer, and we will record the time T1. Once it is done, we will change the value from data developer to Snowflake developer at time T2, and then we are going to change Snowflake developer to Snowflake architect at time T3. So this is how we are going to change a single value 3 times. So these are all update operation. Then we are going to delete Emily's entry from this table, and that will be our fourth operation, and that is a delete operation on time T4. We are going to record all the statement IDs followed by the timestamp as a variable, and then we will see, and then we will try to understand how this change tracking property help us to capture these changes over a period of time without enabling the time travel or without enabling the stream object. So let's jump into our SnowSight. This is my second worksheet called Behavior. Let me quickly change my context. Now I am going to create a table called EMP table, which has this 5 attribute: employee ID, first name, last name, email address, and designation. And I have this property data retention time in days. We can also omit this entry because by default it has a value 1, and change tracking value by default is false. We are setting it to true. So let me create this table. So the table is created successfully. I have copied the query ID for any future reference. This is my first statement. So let me record this timestamp with current timestamp. So my statement executed successfully. Now I am going to insert my first record called John in this table. And again, I'm going to copy my query ID. Since this is my second statement, I want to make sure that I capture timestamp statement 2. So the statement executed and the second statement timestamp is captured. Now I am going to run my third insert statement. So this is my third statement where I inserted my second employee. Let me record the third statement timestamp. So I recorded the third statement timestamp. I will repeat the process for my third employee called Emily. This is my fourth statement. Let me record the timestamp. It got executed. I created the table, that is my first statement, followed by I executed 3 insert statement, and for each of the insert statement, I have the query ID. Now let's run the select query and validate the result. So I have 3 employees, John, David, and Emily, and they are SQL developer, Java developer, and Oracle developer. Now since the time travel feature is enabled in this table, I can really use the add clause and run a statement that how my table looked like when it got executed based on the statement ID. So for example, if I take this statement, which is my last statement, it says add this statement how my employee table looked like. So as per that statement, I had 3 record, looks good. If I take this statement which was produced when we inserted second employee, I could see only 2 employees, looks good. And so we are very much aware of this time travel behavior. If you have not seen my detailed video on time travel, I would request you to go and watch this video from my Snowflake tutorial playlist. So we are not talking about time travel here. We are talking about change tracking. For that, if the change tracking flag is enabled, Snowflake allows you to run a SQL statement with a clause called changes clause. And now let's try to understand how we can validate the behavior of change tracking parameter or properties. So this is my statement, select star from employee table. This SQL statement is further extended by having a changes clause. The changes clause takes one input parameter called information, which can take two values, either default or append only. And then we have to tell at what point of time you would like to track the changes. In this case, I am saying, please take this timestamp as a start point until now and show me all the changes. So if we go back to our slide, we are trying to input this value, which is my T1, and it says my current status of my table is this. So from T1 till now, how many changes are done, that is what we are going to get as a result. If I give T2, then from T2 till this point, it will give me all the changes. If I give T3, then from T3 till this point, it will give the changes, and we have not yet done the T4. So let's go back to our SnowSight and try to understand how it is going to behave. So from T1, we have inserted John, followed by David, followed by Emily. So from the statement 1, which is my create table, these many changes are done. Now if I say, can you tell me how many changes are done on this table from timestamp 2 onwards until now? So I have inserted David and I have inserted Emily, looks good. And then if I say, can you tell me from timestamp 3, I have only inserted Emily, and what we have done after we inserted Emily, we have captured the statement 4 and we have not made any changes. So if I give 4, I should not get any result. And that's what the result, it does not bring anything. Now we are actually going to follow this T1, T2, T3 and T4. In the previous example, I just wanted to show you my T1, T2, T3 based on this insert statement. So don't get confused. Actually, we are going to start T1, T2, T3 now. So first, I am going to update the designation data engineer, and let's run this query. So this got executed. Let me capture query ID. This is my T1 operation. Let me repeat this. Now I'm going to run a select query, and this SQL statement is indicating, please give me all the changes after time TS3, which is this statement. I do not have any changes, so this should not bring any result. Looks good. Now if I make this to 2, then it should get me one change from Snowflake developer to Snowflake architect. Yes, so I change the designation for John from Snowflake developer to Snowflake architect. So Snowflake developer is deleted and Snowflake architect is inserted, very similar to stream object. And then if I give number 1, then it should. So number 1 says my changes are done in this transaction from data engineer to Snowflake architect, looks good. And if I give and if I take statement 4 right after the insert statement, let's see what happened. So this also says SQL developer to Snowflake architect. So now you can understand the behavior that it actually gives you the comparison between two timestamp, the how the record got changed between two time, which is slightly different from your stream object as well as from your time travel feature. So we have seen the changes from a particular timestamp till the current timestamp. Now there is another addition which can be done to this changes clause where we can add the end timestamp. So if you look into the line number 67 to 71, where my add timestamp is before we really made the update, followed by the timestamp with end clause where we are actually completed the update. If I execute this statement, I can see the SQL developer entry got deleted, data engineer designation got inserted. This is exactly the same behavior what we have seen in stream object. Now I would like to track the changes between timestamp 1 to timestamp 2 when we have made the changes to the designation from data engineer to Snowflake developer. And let's run this statement. I see data engineer entry got deleted and Snowflake developer got inserted for John. If I try to run the changes between T2 to T3, it should change from Snowflake developer to Snowflake architect. And here if you notice, the Snowflake developer got deleted and Snowflake architect got inserted. So this is how the change clause bring a very powerful feature to a developer where they can track the changes without adding any additional object. We have seen how the update operation is being tracked through the changes clause. Now I am going to delete the third employee, and before deleting, let me see how my data looks like. So I have John, David, Emily, and John where we have made the all changes having a designation Snowflake architect, and Emily is Oracle developer. Let's drop the Emily. So this is my fourth operation where I'm going to delete Emily and we are going to track it as a TS4, and this is a delete operation. Now one row got deleted. Let's capture the timestamp after the delete operation. So the timestamp got captured. So no changes are applied at TS4 till now because this is my last statement. Let's see what result does it bring. Yes, we are right. But if I move to TS3, which was my last update operation, here I notice that Oracle developer Emily got deleted and this metadata action is coming as a delete. So this is how we can track the changes, and there is one more additional operation we can do it. I can just add another statement called end, and I can say now this will allow me to track all the changes which has happened between my starting time and end time. By default, end time is your current timestamp, but if you specify between which time you would like to track the changes, you can specify at and end. Let me execute this query. So I can see that Oracle developer, which is Emily, got deleted, and between timestamp 1 and timestamp 3, John has jumped from data engineer to Snowflake architect. So this is how you can use the track changes, which is one of the very powerful feature to track the changes. However, its behavior is slightly different than your stream object because stream object is more transactional in nature. Now let's try to understand what happens if I change my data retention time days from 1 to 0. Does it impact my change tracking behavior or not? Let me quickly change my context. So my context got changed. Now I'm going to create the same employee table. This time I have changed the name to employee01. So my change tracking is on and my retention time is 0. Looks good. Now I am recording this statement as a DDL statement with timestamp called ts underscore DDL. So this is recorded successfully. Now I am quickly inserting 3 records into my employee01 table. Restart from here. So it got total 3 records, John, David and Emily. Good. Now from here I am going to perform the operation of changing the data. So one row updated SQL developer to data engineer, and I am recording the timestamp. Second statement also got executed. So from data engineers to Snowflake developer, tracking the timestamp TS2. And finally, I am changing the value from Snowflake developer to Snowflake architect. So all this statement got executed. Now, if you observe here, my data retention value is 0, and we have also validated through show command. Now, if I run TS3 till the current timestamp, no changes are done because TS3 is recorded after the last update, so it should not bring any value. Looks good. Now, if I make it TS2, which is nothing but right after this update statement, and let's run this changes clause. So here it says the value got changed from Snowflake developer to Snowflake architect because Snowflake developer got deleted and Snowflake architect got inserted. So my result is still appearing even though my time travel feature is disabled. If you enable your change tracking, it will still work, okay, which is very good. So in this short and quick video, we managed to cover how to define change tracking in a table, how we can check the change tracking by using SQL command, and we we also observed the overall behavior of a change tracking between two timestamp or from one timestamp to the current timestamp. Hope you have enjoyed this video and gained a lot of knowledge. Snowflake tables hold many key insights. To become a Snowflake Cloud Data Warehouse Pro, make sure to catch all the videos in this playlist. Thanks for tuning in to this quick tutorial. If you have found it valuable, hit the like button. By doing so, YouTube will serve up more Snowflake content from my channel to help you on your Snowflake learning journey. Happy learning and keep on growing.